Hey,
Hi,
we're here.
we're here.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I was meant to say here we are. So,
I think we're here is okay.
no.
We're in the lift.
It's SSS.
Fuck me dead. That's the intro done.
We are out today doing some very intentional B-rolls for our Instagram personal brand stuff. So we're gonna just go to a few locations, set up the camera. We are just exploring our local community today. We'll probably do some more on another day in the city, but right now we're gonna set up and get started.
All right, we're going to do a take 2 because Sam just walked off the frame a little bit.
Sorry.
All right, ready? Go.
Complete.
Perfect.
Yeah. Take 3. No, I can't stop until it's done.
We were just saying these are probably the nicest B-rolls we've gotten of ourselves so far,
Yeah.
which is good.
Just a bit more intentional. Previously, it was like, oh yeah, just film whatever. We haven't been very intentional with the framing and cinematography for the vlog, just because we, run and gun everything, and we usually have a tight schedule. Today, we actually carved out 3 hours for B-rolls.
3 hours for B-rolls, but
And the
then this
afternoon-
afternoon for podcast.
Yeah, this
And-
afternoon we're gonna try to test out the podcast setup, as well as some of the content ideas that we have for the podcast. And if we can film a short session, we would.
Yeah.
See how we go.
The plans that we put in place last week was to set aside non-negotiable time for content creation, and that is today. We're in the lift again.
I saw you guys pulling out your cameras. I said, I'm slipping. What am I doing?
So we just finished up at BOA, met a lot of cool people tonight, and this time is a bit higher caliber business owners, I believe, because compared to the last event, which is like young entrepreneurs, these ones are a bit more established businesses. And I think 4 of them already asked for our details, and we've sent through a few things for them as well. And all in all, great networking event, I think. I still want to try to do content tomorrow because we kind of missed out today. And I really just want to show you guys the podcast setup because I think it's going to look sick. So, yeah, hopefully we can do that tomorrow.
What do you want me to say again?
I don't know. This is a podcast. You got to think on the fly.
Yeah, we need to get an intro out of the way, and then we need to jump into recording our very first one. I'm a bit nervous.
Like excited, nervous?
Like excited, nervous. Because I want it to be good, right? I want it to be really good, and I want to be able to share very articulately for people, but also make it very valuable.
I should need to sit up straighter, hey.
I think it's okay.
So this next bit will be the actual intro of the podcast itself, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Welcome to the Love SS podcast,
Where we talk about how to build the life you want, especially in love and in business.
As a couple building a business together, we're trying to push for $100K a month with housing agency. By bringing you along on this journey, we want to help you build better relationships, bigger businesses, and ultimately, a better life.
Whether you're just starting out, you're a seasoned business owner, or you're building a business with your partner, we hope you find value in this. Make sure you share and enjoy.
I think that's the intro done.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Do-do-do-do-do.
We should play the Rick Roll song.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
All right, let's
right.
pause it. So we just did the podcast this morning, and actually pretty rough. Took us how long? 3 hours? Yeah, so from setup to scripting the intro to recording everything and the first podcast, about 3.5 hours, I'd say. And I think we both feel very good afterwards just because we finally did it. It was quite nerve-wracking because we've never done a podcast before, and it's almost like you need to present flawlessly because in a podcast, ideally, you don't want to have to chop out anything or cut out anything. Yeah, can't wait to edit it and show you guys. But right now, we're heading out to a dinner with a friend. And something that I just wanted to share is that we have been quite flat out this week, doing a lot of client work, meeting up with a lot of people. And we booked in another kind of like potential client meeting on Friday as well for a dinner. As much as we love hanging out with these people and love to, get to know their stories and, just catch up with some of them, what we do is very labor intensive, and we actually don't have that much time to share between building the business, servicing client, as well as like entertaining a lot of different relationships and trying to build a lot at once. And from this week, I guess we've been a little bit more intentional, and we just set up a Calendly booking link where whoever wants to meet up with us to talk business, to talk I guess like anything in general, but mostly business, we'll now get a Calendly link, which we have limited the meeting times to a few days a week. I think it was 4 days a week, except every Tuesday because it's our content day. So 4 days a week, only in the afternoon from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock is where people can book in meetings with us. And I think that's a very good way, and I guess important way to respect your own time, so that the things that you need to get done has been allocated time. The excuse of, oh, I don't have time to do XYZ, usually just means that you have bad time management, because so many people out there are outputting at 10 times what we are right now, simply because they have good time management. They have focused time, they have deep work time, they have uninterrupted time. They set those environments very intentionally, which I think is the only way that we will be able to continuously grow and get better and actually outwork our vision, because it's massive. We have a massive vision, so this is the only way, I think.
Also, at the start, you can do whatever you want.
The copyright for you.
Yeah, there's
We'll
like
tell you.
Kind of like me, right? Like if I start. No, bitch, I'm still here. Movie magic. Okay, it's like I was saying, it's 8:20 right now. We had an amazing dinner. We talked a little bit about business, talked about our goals. We're growing together.
What are you trying to build?
I'm trying to build a business in fashion. I'm still a counselor, but it's in the pipeline.
Good morning, friends.
Wow, it is 11:15 on a Thursday morning, and this is kind of the new setup that we have for the podcast, and you haven't seen really this angle yet.
No, not yet. If we have a third camera, this is where we'll place it. But right now we only have two, so that's what we're doing.
Just the two angles.
Just the two angles.
The moment. But this is like, we've got the arms now all set up, which these arms,
these are so
they're
good.
so good. Like, maybe we should link some of the stuff we've used to.
Yeah,
like,
we'll
set
link
it
all
up.
of this setup
Yeah.
that we use for the podcast, and I think we've kind of nailed the basics. And from now, it's just the post production. There's a lot of work that goes into those as well, just to edit the audio. And lucky that I've done music before, and I actually am pretty comfortable with mixing and mastering.
Lucky
So,
for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, so Sam doesn't have to do it.
We've had a lot of time meeting people this week. We've been in and out. Like Stephen said yesterday, we've just been like on the move and pushing for lots of fruit starting to come from that, as much as we've got to find the balance of like sitting down and having days like this where we do the work. We have, we've got a meeting booked in today to work on the business as well, on our offer and structure. Even with the Calendly link that we set up yesterday, we've already had meetings booked in. We've got a meeting booked in tomorrow, one on Monday. And so those little affirmations that the things we're setting up are working and making our business processes more efficient is a very good feeling. Like, it's a very grounding feeling, going, okay, this is starting to really operate the way that we envisioned it to.
Yeah, and I think a lot of businesses, especially traditional businesses, they have a set way of doing things, and they would consider new ways of doing things, or even just like, oh, sending a Calendly link to a potential client is a lazy move. But in my opinion, if you really think about it, you're giving all of the availability options for the potential client, so you're actually respecting their time. They can pick, and you're also respecting your own time.
I think the most important resource that successful people manage is their time.
Yes.
And you see, when you start to become more successful, or you adopt a successful person's mindset, you do things in a way that requires maximum efficiency. Like, key example is when you're meeting with a client on site, pick a restaurant, book it in, and just tell them the time and the place. You don't need to spend time being like, oh, where do you want to go? What do you want to eat? It's like, no, make the decision easy.
There's a saying in Cantonese, 好也一餐,唔好也一餐. That means that no matter how good or bad a meal is, it's still just a meal. So, like, why care about it so much?
At the end of the day, the conversation and the value exchange is what's the most important thing, I think. And yeah, we're really trying to structure out these systems to respect our own time way more. And I think that's the right way to go. Yeah.
Today, we're just going to be doing a lot of client work and building out our offers, well, refining our offers a bit more. We have a lot that we want to include and change and improve, because we don't have agency experience. We don't have like heaps of marketing / creative experience, like working for other people. So we don't have a like preconceived notion to do things a certain way.
Which I think is actually to our benefit,
Yes.
because we can not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but decide on the values that are important to us, and then structure our business based on the values, not on a traditional model necessarily.
It's just based on the model of what do the clients want and what can we do to maximize their investment. And so far, it's been working out pretty nicely.
Definitely always room for improvement though, which is why
Yes,
we're having
for
these
sure.
meetings today. And yeah, that's going to be it. With social media management. And hang on.
It's currently 8:30, and has today been productive?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a big project started.
Yeah. So we're trying to build a system where everything we do is itemized in terms of cost and pricing. And in turn, we can also make sure that our package pricing is really valid according to labor cost and time cost and, overheads and tax and everything, right? So that is what we're trying to build. And so far, I think we have a very good start. The next step is just to build out the whole system for the actual quoting process.
What we're always finding challenging when we're pricing things up for people is knowing how to explain our worth sometimes. And like when people look at pricing and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. Why do you charge $5,000 for a social media management package? Being able to clearly articulate how much time and labor and things cost, as well as also saying, we want to run a successful business. We want to be able to hire the best talent. We want to be able to do all of these things to grow our business for you and for us. Therefore, we have to have a good profit margin to be able to do so.
And to be honest, $5,000 is actually not that much. And we're talking about Australians?
We're talking about Australians.
And we're talking about Australian dollars, meaning it's about 3,000 something USD, right? So it doesn't allow the team, like we as the team, to do a lot more than the basics.
But it's been a good exercise, I think, for us to really sit down and nut it out and figure out profit margin and feel that level of uncomfortableness around pricing, right? Because we kind of know what our clients can afford right now, and we want to be targeting that as the bare minimum of what they can afford. Yeah, but then again, we also reached out to another agency for something outside of our scope, and for one of their branding packages where they're doing a rebrand for a business, it's 30 to 40K for a project. So us charging
anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 a month for social media management and content creation seems very insignificant.
And if you think about it, some video agencies out there, well, we have done it as well. They charge a lot for just media production simply because it actually is expensive. It takes a lot of time to perfect a video, and sometimes it'd be $15,000, $20,000 for a TV commercial or something like that. It takes way more to create something a lot nicer than just your regular social media reels. You know?
But yeah, that was today. So very brain heavy, and the battery's about to die. So
Yeah.
we'll see you tomorrow.
Ciao, ciao.